The way I ran to my camera. There's been some stuff that's already a little bit like, but this dinner party though, like, I'm actually baffled. I'm gonna do the good ones first because it's actually nice to see something joyful. Who surprised me as well was Lacey and Nathan when Adam was talking about all of his nonsense. He was like, "So, do you think you're superficial then?" Orson, obviously, or what did Lacey call him? All track or all star or something. Is he like a new Marvel member? All star. Orson. Did feel for him that obviously Rochelle didn't come, and she probably was like, "I'm not sitting down there to go and fraternise with nobody. What for? I left him on the honeymoon." Sorry. We have to just get on to Alex and Holly. I don't even trying to formulate the level of like flabbergasted that I am to him and stuff, and he's just like, "Yo, people need to mind their business." Dash all of that. You can't come into something like this and hang on to. I'm. It's going to be perfection or nothing, bro, dude. Listen, basic. And again, I'm not trying to be bad man, but well, Twitter's had a field day. That's all I'm gonna say. And I can't imagine ever entering a competition and marrying someone and acting like me and them are, like we're ups now. But right here now, the rest of them I'll just go on. The way I ran to my camera. The way I ran to my camera. Listen, yeah. My cousin even said to me, she's like, "Look, I need you to watch this episode. I need you to hurry up and watch this episode." But I had an issue in here with the spider which delayed things. Anyway, I thought I couldn't get more shocked than the episodes I've already seen. Like, with Eve and Charlie, some of the things that Casper has said to Emma. He said some things to her that's like, obviously Luke and Polly, Adam and Polly. I keep getting the names wrong. So there's been some stuff that's already a little bit like, but this dinner party though, like, I'm actually baffled. I'm actually baffled that this is the way that people can genuinely behave in front of other people and on TV. Okay, in fact, you know what? No, I'm gonna do the good ones first. Because it's actually nice to see something joyful. So Kieran and Christine, I just love them. I think that they've got such a natural energy to them. Like, that is, I don't know, like you found some elves in the forest and like, they're just happy being forest elves together. Do you know what I mean? Just just happy people. Moving in with the jumpers and stuff. That was like a really nice touch. And there was a shot where she was saying that like we're just gonna sit on the sofa with hot chocolates and watch TV. Like, isn't that what marriage is about? And she made this face after it that was just like the happiest face I'd seen on anyone ever. It was so sick. Like, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. And then that continued to shine through the dinner party. So whatever mess was happening in and around them, they still stayed just in this amazing Kieran and Christine bubble, man. He gave an awesome speech. Be where your feet are at. Love that. I remember that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of them too. Who surprised me as well was Lacey and Nathan. Because I was a bit like, there ain't no hope there because he just ain't that interested. But they came through strong. And he showed some real emotional intelligence, like, which again I wasn't sure because when she was talking about some of the things that happened to her, he wasn't really like present for them. But when my man Adam was talking about all of his nonsense, he was like, "So, do you think you're superficial then?" Righty. So yeah, really like them too. And again, like the fact that they Lacey's like, "Oh, we're like best friends and stuff." They haven't done it yet, which I think is sensible, considering the ones who already have. And yeah, they just felt like really natural, and I think other people could see that as well, which is really, really cool. So yeah, them two, Ross and Sasha. Ross and Sasha again just seem, even when they walked in, like they just look so solid. And when she was talking about feeling safe in the relationship and stuff, I'm like, we've actually got couples here who are actually happy. Wow. 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 So that was really cool to see that. And again, it's really cool to see that they've got this very, it just feels very natural. Even when they were moving in and she was like, literally anywhere with Ross would feel like home. Like it'd be weird with him not being there. Sick. Love that. Even Charlie. So I rate the fact that Eve has come back. Because I'll be honest, I don't know whether I could have come back. I know that it takes two, and that, you know, her responses to what Charlie was upset about might not have helped the situation, but I can't help but feel. And look, everyone's got feelings, and people do handle them differently. And it was really nice that they both apologised for, you know, how they, I guess, left each other feeling. It's like, you know, we were really mean to each other. We had a really big argument, and we really upset each other. And that's scary to me. Like, I know some people can say, oh, it's because you care so much. But, like, I don't know you. I don't know you. So how have you got the power to upset me? How have I got the power to upset you like that? So why are we even doing this if this is what we're doing? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have been... I mean, fair play. They're in separate apartments. So she's still being cautious about it. But the fact she came in at all... And obviously, like, Charlie initially was, you know, really downplaying how bad it was. And I guess there must be, and I guess it's natural in it because people do this in their natural lives, like keeping up appearances, whether it's on Instagram or in person or whatever. People like to, you know, have this facade of what's going really, really well, but not knowing like all the just broken, gammy, moldy bits are underneath. Like everything's just polished and shimmer, shimmer. But when Eve came in, she was just like, look, I don't want to go into it too much yet, but I saw her on the wedding night, and we ain't chilled really since then. So, you know, so I think it was really good to kind of have those two different things, those two different perspectives. And what I'll also say as well, actually, because I have been like, what are these experts expert in really? Because you put some people together that I'm like, I don't really get it, but you can see their expertise come through really when they're starting to analyze. Bearing in mind they're watching it like we're watching it, when they're starting to analyze what people are saying and what that actually means. So I started to see a lot of that, and I'm like, right, okay, this is the reason that I rate them, which makes it even more frustrating when I'm like, well, why have you paired this person with it? But anyway, Orson, obviously, or what did Lacey call him? All track or all star or something. Is he like a new Marvel member? All star. Orson. Come on, mate. Like that's ridiculous. But anyway, so he's obviously coming on his own. I think everyone looked really good, by the way. I thought everyone kind of dressed up for the occasion and looked really smart. I liked his whole attire. I thought he looked really cool. But yeah, I did feel for him. That obviously Rochelle didn't come, and she probably was like, I'm not sitting down there to go and fraternise with nobody. What for? I left him on the honeymoon. Sorry. It's not funny. It isn't funny at all. You know, he tried to be vulnerable and let her know his feelings and stuff. But I think the worst part is Paul pretty quickly. He's just like, look, you know, he's coming on his own, but he has him kind of admitting the fact that he doesn't know whether she's gonna come or not. Like then says that it's not just about the process. There's a problem with the two of them. So I thought that again, that was really clever to kind of pick up on that. I felt for him walking through because I guess there's going to be a part of him that, you know, feels like he's failed, and probably a little bit how Charlie felt when she walked in. But at least Eve, in fact, did they walk in together? Actually, they may have walked in together. I don't think there's anyone else that's on their own like that. Okay, well, we have to just get on to Alex and Holly. I don't even. I'm actually baffled, like genuinely. I'm trying to formulate the level of like flabbergasted that I am at how that whole dinner party was conducted. But the two of them, less so to her. I think, you know, I think there were a couple of things that I was like, Holly, I don't know about that. But in the main, Alex, bro, like, look, as a fellow West Midland person, yeah, and I love me some Brum, right? It feels like a real letdown to have that be like a representation of what some people, and not all people, but what some people will feel, yeah, is the black man way, because the level of like, I don't even like. I'm like, dude, you're literally. At one point, I was like, felt like I was watching Duchesne. I'm like, bro, like, what? What? You're on TV on a marriage show talking to your wife, by the way, and your wife's friends and your new friends. Like, you're talking like you are literally part of what? What am I watching here? I don't understand how, at any point, like, look, okay, so first things first, you made the comment, you made the comment, right? And I can understand that he's like, oh, if I'm not attracted to her, then, and like I said initially, like, people have done it before, you know, would you do that? So it's a question, isn't it? It doesn't mean that I'm bonded to the question, but it does feel as though that now that he is bonded to it, because it's like, well, the only issue would have been if I didn't like my wife, but I did like my wife, so what is your problem? And the fact that he's like, you're coming at me sideways. She didn't come at him sideways. She's like, I've just heard this, yeah, and it's really unsettled me, and I need to better understand, like, what do you mean? He instantly got defensive about it and couldn't recognize, and I guess that they both couldn't recognize each other's points. And obviously we weren't there, so we don't know how loud that conversation was to everybody else. But obviously it's at the table, so she hasn't like taken him to one side. And I know I did see Orson like perk up on that. I'm like, bro, your wife ain't even here, so. So I can understand to a degree that, like Paul said, we've come in as a united front. We're happy, everything's Chris. You've now come up. You now come to me with this beef in front of everybody, and like he said, made us look weak, which there in turn makes me look weak, and I don't do weak. I don't do weak. I don't do this. I don't do, and I understand the thought process of not wanting to be in beef. I said that in the previous reaction. Like, I'm not about to do that. But then what you do as the like mature person, the husband, the person that is, you know, feeling your wife, I can see you're upset. I can see you're upset. Should we go and take a moment outside, and we can go and talk. You know, so I can explain. You can hear my perspective. I can hear your perspective, and go from there. Like, you already said that you had this massive fight, but the way in which you dealt with it is what made you feel better. So how have you forgotten that already? How have you forgotten that already? He honestly was talking to these people like he was on road. You're done out here. You're done. Yo, you would have got ghosted. We talking. See what I mean? It's done. And when he picked up the chair, him draw out the chair and him literally grips up the chair, yeah, and moved it to the other side of the table. Sorry. I'm not laughing, yeah, because it's funny, because it's not, but it's just so ridiculous that that is how that you would deal with it. And then the whole time cussing out at the end of the table with whoever might listen. They're like, yo, making me out to be the bad guy, making me like I've done something wrong. And it's like, but all of this behaviour, like, does any of that look like somebody that they want to bring home to their children and their family? Like, if you've already decided that it's done, okay, cool. It seems a bit premature and seems a bit ridiculous, really, because you seemed as though you liked her, but you're acting like she's done the biggest disrespect. She's disrespected your name, she's disrespected your family, and she's done out here. You take this thing far. Like, you know, I'm like, wow. And then obviously you can hear that other people are talking to her and stuff, and he's just like, yo, people need to mind their business. People need to mind their business, forgetting that this show is all about people sharing their experiences, their information, their opinions. Like, that's the show's been built on that. So if you come on this show expecting that people aren't going to have an opinion on your relationship, or that people are not going to comment on you, then you've come on the wrong show, dude. Like, this is a big show in the UK. It's a big show. There's going to be a lot of people talking about it, notwithstanding the people that are in it. So how can you get so vexed when it's, you know, don't get me wrong, yeah, I do think that sometimes in those situations people can hype each other up. So obviously, you know, Polly's vexed, and we'll come to Polly and Adam in a minute, but Polly's vexed, and obviously Holly's vexed, so they're both vexed together. But it's like, we won't stand for this. You know, we are independent women, and we don't take this. But I'm like, the thing is though, Polly, yeah, as much as you're say, well, again, I'll come to Polly in a minute. But for me, I feel like there was definitely an element of I've got my girls here, and I've got a no one's gonna talk to me like that, and I do understand it, because I also would be, I'm not going to be disrespected by someone. And the minute that you do that, I'm not entertaining. I'm not even going to engage, because why are you talking to me like that? So I do understand why he had his back up. But I think because he wasn't prepared, like he's just talking about it like it's some matter of fact. Yeah, I said I would swap if I did, like I didn't like what I see when I turn around. But I did like what I saw when I turned around. So why are we even talking about, like he was so unwilling to see why that would have upset her. So that's gonna get her back up even more. And now we're not gonna talk. And now we're gonna fester. And now we're gonna beef. And now the drink's gonna keep flowing. You know, it just absolute, like I could. There's so many moments in that I was laughing, and I'm just like, this is actually ridiculous. Like, this is actually, people actually behave like this in front of other people willingly, with a camera crew rolling, like, and he just looks so vexed. He looks so vexed. So vexed. I'm like, bro, this is not a good look. It's not a good look. So definitely felt a little bit disappointed in that. And, you know, like I said, it isn't his job to carry the perception of what people think about black people in general or whatever. But I would hope, yeah, that we're also not in a position where we're going to further certain, like you know, archaic stereotypes that that just have no place in 2024. Do you know what I mean? They just don't have no place in that. Like, you don't, you like, you know, he made such a big deal about his relationship with his mum. Like, I cannot imagine for one moment that, like, my mum would be proud of me acting in that kind of way in front of people and speaking to someone like that. And because, again, it doesn't show you in your best light. That's the bottom line. And like Paul said, it shows that you're not listening either. You're not listening to anything. It's literally your way or go about your business. And it's like, bro, like, that's, yeah. So I felt disappointed for him. And like I said, because there were elements from some of the other episodes, I was like, I can actually see the softer side of him. This side came out so quick and so consistent that I'm like, nah, that'd be enough for me, because I would not want to be in a close proximity with just that. And where does that go? Where does that go? This is a dinner table. This is a dinner table on the first dinner party with everybody else, and this is the first one. Nah, I'm out. Like, I'd be done with that personally. But like I said, I think that Holly didn't help, because she was like, you're acting like a child, and even if he was, I think going at him like that in front of other people also isn't healthy. And she could have, like Orson said, even though I was like, bro. But he did have a point. Like, why did she not say, look, I've heard this, yeah, I know that we're good, but I just need to understand why you said that. Because I think she also then felt embarrassed. And you got to think that people are coming with their own baggage, and, you know, can get triggered over the littlest of things. So she might have like she said there, I don't want to feel as though that you're gonna just bolt, I'm on trial, and that, you know, if anything better comes along, you're off skis, which is kind of what that sentiment can sound like to someone. And all he needed to do was say, babe, I'm so sorry if what I said upset you. Like, because that was never my intention at all. I was just thinking logically about something that was kind of a throwaway comment at the time, which has probably been taken now to be something completely ballooned out of all proportion. But, you know, I'm not looking to come here and swap with anybody. I was just making the point that if I happen to be attracted to somebody else, would I then pursue that? And I think that is a valid question to be asked, because it has happened previously. But, you know, it doesn't give the energy, like she said, when it's the stag do and you've not even seen nobody yet. So yeah, I think if they just heard each other, I think that'd been good. But yeah, that's not the kind of energy I'd want nowhere near, like, my kids. Like, so yeah, that was very interesting. Adam and Polly, like, if anything, yeah, as much as I didn't like all of that aggression and tension from Alex, I think Adam was even worse for me, because it's more intrinsic. Like, the experts are saying it's unkind. When he did that whole thing about the 4, and I get it, like, you weren't saying she is a 4 out of 10. You were talking about where you are on this love train. But like Eve says, that means you're 40% in love. Like, what does that even mean? Like, it's obviously not true, because you clearly have dogged her at every juncture, telling everybody that will listen that, like, she's not my type. Yeah, I don't fancy her. I'm not attracted to her. We get it. You said it already, and I get. Did you see when his eyes lit up when Lacey walked through the door? Because a bit when Polly was saying that, I was like, oh, you're probably just being a bit paranoid there, really. Like, it's not going to just be somebody with dark hair and that's petite. But his eyes lit up like Christmas, like, finally, we have somebody fill up pan. You know what I mean? It was really bad. And I just feel bad for Polly, because she looks really good. Like she said, I dress for me, I dress for, like, my build, and that she looks good. Like, and I get it. Like I said, you can't force yourself to be attracted to someone if you're not. But it's like Mel said, like, you have to dash out of that. You can't come into something like this and hang on to, it's going to be perfection or nothing, bro, dude. Listen, it's mad, because for you to come on a public television program and have those kind of ideals, yeah. Well, two things really. One, and again, it makes me question the experts, because if you're doing all this psychoanalysis, how did you not pick this up beforehand? That, like, you've only got to look at him to see how he puts all of these things together so precisely, and he's like, I'm the prize. She's getting everything from me, everything she wants, she's getting from me. I saw him say, and Holly probably has fed that ego. Do you know what I mean? She probably has fed that ego, because she said she's got a history of overcompensating, because she's scared that they won't like her and whatever. But bro, like, there was one moment when she was sat around that table and she had her head in her hands and she's like, "Oh my God, what a dickhead! Like, what a dickhead! I'm such a." And as much as it broke my heart to see her upset, I also felt really, like, relieved for her. I'm like, maybe now this is the point where you wake up a bit and you're like, yeah, do you know what? Like, I'm not saying to quit to quit the process or whatever, because there's a process, right? So follow through and whatever, but you really need to safeguard yourself. You really need to safeguard yourself, because you see that pain that she's feeling there around that table. He's willingly laughing about it at the other end with the boys, thinking he's. I mean, I did like that little conversation that Emma and Polly were having, and they're just like, like, he's not exactly an Adonis, is he? Because we'll get to Casper in a sec. But the fact that we're kind of recognising that, yeah, you're not no Daniel Craig. Who are you to be sitting down there calling nobody out for their size? But yeah, I think him making those comments, number one, I think is awful. I think him then not even recognising when one of your other boys is saying, basically, dude, you are superficial, because do you not find that the other things that you're attracted to be attractive, and therefore, but he's so committed to this idea of who he thinks he should be with and who he thinks aesthetically is on his level, and it's just like, God forbid, listen, and everything I hold dear, please do not ever make me be that delusional, like, please, because it's cringe. It's actually cringe, dude. Like, and then she's run off crying, and you're like, oh, she's crying because of me? No. Brother, dude, what do you mean? Is you the reason? Like, did you not hear what you said? And even when he's come to comfort her, he's still getting, like, defensive. Like, bro, just say, do you know what? I didn't need to have that conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's a sensitive issue. Nobody wants to be made to feel like they're undesirable. Like, I don't have to be Archimedes or Einstein to sit down and be like, oh, people don't really like being told that they're unattractive. Go figure. Particularly women. So maybe I'm not going to keep harping on about that to everyone who might listen. It's just really basic, bro. Basic. And again, I'm not trying to be bad man, but, well, Twitter's had a field day. That's all I'm going to say. Like, it's really difficult to keep coming up with these comments, and this is what is coming out of. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean, dude. I'm just like, anyway, So yeah, I'm hoping that Polly can kind of wake up now and not allow it. Do you know what I mean? Not saying allow it, but just at least get some more control in the situation and let her know that, like, a little bit like Lucinda. Um, Lucinda. If you watch the MAFS Australia with Lucinda and was it Mick? Was it Mick? He was just completely emotionally stunted and had literally no business being on that show. Um, and she tried and she tried and she tried and she tried, and then when she got to homestays and found out that he's usually quite affectionate and stuff, and she was like, okay, enough's enough now. And I was like, rate yourself, because no one else could have given that much patience to that process. So I'm hoping that, and all I kept thinking as well when Polly was talking is like, what would Alfie say? If Alfie was there right now, what would he be telling you? So yeah, I really hope that she finds the strength to just, I don't know, man, just not let this dude with make her feel no way with his 4 out of 10. Oof. Yeah, um, Emma and Casper. I mean, that clip from for the next episode where it's like, listen, it's my life you're effing with, yeah. And it's like, do you think that you're owed more than anyone else in this competition? You've applied for the opportunity to be matched with someone who the experts believe in their scientific metrics matches you and you are compatible. And yeah, you may not get everything that you want on that list, because that's life, right? Like, that's one of the first things they teach you in the school of life. Nothing's perfect, and you're saying that you don't see any reasons to why you've been matched, and yet when the wedding first happened and stuff, you're like, oh, I can see, we've got lots in common. Like, your family love her. Like, she's similar to your sister, who's your twin. Like, I know you said that she kind of frustrates you a little bit, so maybe that's what you mean. But there must be some link there. There must be something. So there's definitely something else aside from just the attraction as to why they've put you with her. And for you, like, I feel like he's talking like he's the hard done by one. Like, he's got the the packet of crisps with no crisps in there. He's got the dud donut with no jam in the middle. Like, it's like, bro, like, do you think she came on here with her £100 bikini, feeling sexy, wanting, I was about to be me, but wanting some guy, right, who really shouldn't be throwing any stones in any kind of glass houses, nowhere but nobody's size, to make her feel like she's unworthy. Like, and I get, and I said in that episode, like, I get you were asked a direct question, what is it about me that you don't find attractive? And I think it has to be honest about it. But it'd be interesting to see what else has he been doing to then foster that, to lead into the experiment, and to to find, because I just think he's kind of awkward anyway, because even when he walked in, I was just like, you just come across like an awkward guy. I don't know, like, but I don't really rate him either, and I think he's got a nerve. I think he's got I think that him, um Alex has got a nerve for a different reason, but Casper and Adam, I've got, but Adam mainly though, I've just got the biggest level of nerve, audacity, rank, just so rank, and I there was a real lot in this. So honestly, I think the most inhumane behaviour came from Adam. But I think the most shocking of the evening, in terms of just like, what are you actually doing though, Alex, got to be, because it doesn't matter what the issue is, bearing in mind this is kind of a minor really, for you to respond in the way that you have, it's just really just bad attitude. I mean, and look, we're all gonna have an opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the point of having a show, and I can't imagine. I did see a news article that I've not read yet because I wanted to watch the episode first, but I saw that he has responded to a lot of the online. Well, I don't know if it's hate that he's had, but I think online negativity, let's call it. Yeah. So I'd be interested to know what his response has been. I just hope that whatever he responds, that he doesn't give anything away, because I want to see how the series pans out. But I am going to read it, and I'm really hoping to, I don't know, to see something that reflects on that, because I guess sometimes the best of us may not know how we come across unless, you know, we were recorded all the time and we can see what our responses are like, how short our fuses might be, you know, our inability to listen and actually that we're just hearing. So, but saying that though, I don't want to make excuses for it either, because it's just not great. And I can't imagine ever entering a competition and marrying someone and acting like me and them are, like, we're ups now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're ups. It's betrayal. You actually use the word betrayal because she's asking you a question about something that you've said. You said it. She didn't come and say it. You did. So yeah, I think that's definitely been the most shocking thing for me. But I guess let's see what the experts. I don't know if any of these relationships, apart from Kieran and Christine, Lacey and Nathan, and Ross and Sasha, if any of these other relationships can come good, the experts deserve like every bit of flowers, every single bit of flowers, because they obviously saw something and were able to work with them to get to that point. But right here now, the rest of them will just go on. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys thought of this. Like, what was the most shocking bit for you? Do you actually have any sympathy with any of the people that I have kind of, you know, criticized, I guess? And is there anything that you wish that maybe people had said that they didn't say? Just, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow. See you on the next one.